This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, there's some other big news around this time, Kurt, and it's big news for you and for your bank account, pal, because it's reported in the Observer that you agreed to a 5-year deal with the WWF. What was that negotiation like?
Well, I still had 3 years left of my former contract, but it was a shitty deal. I was getting $75,000 a year guaranteed. Now, don't get me wrong. My rookie year, I made a lot more than that because I main evented just about every show. As far as once I, got my groove in a few months, I was main eventing all the time. So I made an amazing amount of money my rookie year. I was really impressed and very happy with that money. And I went to JR and I said, I need to get a new deal because this other deal is really bad. He said, okay, what do you want? And I said, well, I made this much last year. I want it guaranteed this year because I'm going to make it again, maybe more. He said, I can't give you that. That's what Rock and Austin get. I said, I want what Rock and Austin are getting.
Hell yeah.
Vince. Please talk to Vince.
Yeah.
He said, I'll go talk to Vince. And he talked to Vince, and Vince said yes right away. And then they gave me the deal. So I got the same guarantee as the Rock and Austin and Undertaker.
Look at you wheeling and dealing.
After one
Angle.
Year, yeah. I'm bragging about it right now.
You should, buddy. Rock, Austin, and Angle.
Happy about that.
Hey, but you know what? You proved that you belonged, man. You were main eventing with all those guys, and you could hang. They knew what they had with you when it came to promos. You were the full package, and you proved yourself that rookie year. So, yeah, hey, let's start talking. And look at you. You have no problem going to the table, going to JR and saying, buddy, it's time to take care of your Olympic hero. So
it was time to take care of Kurt Angle, yes.
There you go. Well, let's talk about one of those guys you just mentioned, and that's Stone Cold Steve Austin, who, by the way, I'm sure you did. You saw him at WrestleMania, right?
Yeah. I gave him a hug. Said good luck to him. I didn't see him afterward. I'm sure he was a little pissed off about Vince and the way he took the stunner. It was crazy because Austin was chugging these beers and you could see his lips saying motherfucker. That's what he said. No, he actually said that motherfucker.
I was sitting there watching it, and I was telling some friends, I was here with some buddies watching it, and I thought, this dude, me and Kurt Angle were just watching a match where Vince had to take the pedigree from Triple H. Remember in the ring during the wedding ceremony? And he flip-flopped all over the ring for that.
Oh, yeah.
Some things don't change, brother.
The thing is, his timing was just bad. He didn't know when to jump. He didn't know you were going to go down, up, and down. He just thought you were going to go up and down. And with Austin, he didn't expect the boot to the gut. He thought he was just going to stun him. So when Steve booted him, Vince went to his knees.
That was the problem. As soon as he went to the knees, it threw the whole thing off.
And Steve had to pick him back up, and then he tried it again, and Vince backed up into the ropes, bounced off the ropes. It was like a disaster, man.
The best part was Austin.
I just wanted to get it over with.
Yeah. Austin couldn't stop laughing. That was the best part.
Because he knew. He knew from the beginning it was going to happen like that. Yeah.
It was like trying to give a stunner to a piece of paper. So Steve Austin walks out of the World Wrestling Federation around this time due to his unhappiness with creative. So what do you remember about this time period with Steve and his issues at the time?
Well, what I remember was they wanted to do this program with Steve and Brock Lesnar, Stone Cold versus Brock Lesnar. But it wasn't much of a program. It was just a match. And they wanted Brock to go over. And you're talking about the name and face of the company, Stone Cold Steve Austin. He wants things to make sense. He wants to have great programs and build-ups to matches. He wasn't just going to go out there and do a job. No, don't get me wrong. Stone Cold has done jobs for everybody. He doesn't have a problem doing that. It's just the way they went about it.
Did you talk to Steve at all, Kurt, after he leaves during this time period?
Nobody talks to Stone Cold. The only person he confided in, I believe, was Deborah, and that's it.
Mm. Well, you've often talked about Steve, and he was someone that you looked up to. We've talked about that over and over again on this show, especially when we talked about the Hall of Fame. You wanted him to induct you. Was this, I guess, sort of a revelation that you just, you can just walk out of the WWF if you weren't happy with creative? Like, what's the message here?
I don't know, to be honest with you. Would I have done it? No. But I don't blame Stone Cold. I mean, he was the name and face of the company for a long time. He's always done business properly. He just felt like this was the wrong thing to do. And he would have done it if they would have had a good build-up and a good program to it, but they didn't have anything behind it.
Well, It all got resolved. He came back. We just saw him back again. And what do you think? Do you think Austin comes back again, or do you think he's truly done now after this past WrestleMania?
I don't know. You know what? With knowing Stone Cold, he's probably going to come back again. He's going to want to do a stunner to end the show properly.
A proper stunner. Don't let that be your last.
I don't
stunner.
think he's going to go out like that. And don't get me wrong, it was an awesome moment, regardless of what happened with Vince and how he took the stunner. It was an incredible moment. My wife went out to the arena, and it was effing crazy. Everybody was off their seats, going nuts, screaming at the top of their lungs. I never heard a pop like this. I was backstage. My wife told me it was 10 times bigger out there.
But you got to give it up for Pat McAfee. I mean, he did a good job, and he took an awesome stunner bump too.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Pat McAfee was the surprise performance of WrestleMania. I would have never expected him to do what he did. That was pretty amazing, especially for a non-wrestler.
Yeah, he did fantastic work. We sat there and we were just like, this guy, to be live in front of 80,000 people, you don't get to make a mistake. And he's jumping to the top rope and doing some things. And man, he helped pull it off. And good
that
stuff.
That jump to the top rope was impressive. And then the superplex. Wow. Yeah. He has some good leaps. He's a great athlete. Definitely.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.